Well, the time has come, everyone. Kizaru and the Marines have finally arrived on Egghead. And so in one of my recent videos, which did very well, I appreciate the support by the way, we talked about which certain characters should not be considered frauds. And in that video, I talked about Kid, Sabo, Mihawk, and most importantly in that video, the admirals, which obviously Kizaru is one of them. And I happened to say something pretty controversial, and that was that I truly believe Kizaru will end up bodying Luffy, which is probably a weird way of me saying it, but essentially I just believe with the way it's shaping up, Kizaru will end up beating Luffy. And this leads me into my first scenario, and the one I probably do think will happen. So I first want to get into the narrative surrounding the admirals in One Piece, and it's that the OG Big Three admirals are the Navy's strongest power, that being Kizaru, Aokiji, and Akainu. And automatically as a reader, that should tell you these dudes are not to be played with at all, and that would put them above the likes of anyone in the Navy. Now you have to use narrative and logic on them for the most part, as they do lack some feats, and the Navy / world government is clearly one of the endgame obstacles Luffy will have to overcome. So logically, why would it make sense for Kizaru to lose right now? So let's dive into the recent hints about what's about to go down in Egghead. So first off, we have this statement that the events and result of this arc would shock the world, which could mean a lot of things, but this arc does parallel Sabaody pretty heavily, and we all know how that ended. Anyways, in the latest chapter, Saturn says he doesn't even want his presence to be known, and it's shown that this battle will be led by Admiral Kizaru and other vice admirals. So this alone should tell you Kizaru is a monster, as they know the level Luffy is at now, as he just had defeated Kaido. Though Kaido was a bit weakened, he still defeated Kaido. And Saturn, who is more likely than not stronger than him, is not worried for Kizaru in the slightest, at least that's what he makes it out to seem. And honestly, from the looks of it, neither is Kizaru. So at the bare minimum, Kizaru will have to be at least on par with Luffy, and Luffy will have to overcome him, or the more likely outcome is Kizaru is stronger and defeats Luffy. Some more evidence to support this is in the latest chapter. At the end, Luffy is seemingly terrified of Kizaru's presence, and to anyone who thinks this somehow isn't Kizaru, which some people have actually said, we see Kizaru on the move, and right beside where Luffy says there's an exclamation mark and it says light from below. I don't know how much more blatant that can get, but most people understand it's Kizaru. It's only a few people that said that, referring to the person's power that Luffy is talking about, of course. Also, the chapter is called Kizaru. So this for me makes me strongly believe Kizaru will get the best of Luffy in this fight and will gain all the respect from One Piece fans and Admiral haters. But one last thing I saw in the comments I have to address is, quote, Kizaru already got his shine in Sabaody and people are gassing up Rayleigh, and they're using this as some sort of counter to how strong Kizaru is. And let me tell you the problem with that, and I'm not even going to mention to whether Kizaru was holding back or not, as he barely used any versatile attacks, if any at all. But it's that Rayleigh was literally just holding Kizaru back for a few minutes, in which he was already showing signs of fatigue. And you want to know something else? To anybody who commented that, they stopped fighting. So when someone ever brings this up, just ask them for more than one panel and it'll get pretty bad for them. Anyways, I just wanted to address this. So obviously everyone not's going to agree or disagree with what I said, but some people did call me out for this, and I don't think there's more evidence to prove that Luffy will win versus whether Kizaru will win. But of course, at the end of the day, it's just my prediction, my opinion of what will happen. There is also just a scenario that Kizaru loses and Saturn beats Luffy, but I don't know. I doubt that will happen, but it's possible. But hey, let me know what y'all think is about to go down on Egghead. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It just makes it more interesting. But to me, that just seems like what they're setting up right now. But that's all for me today. Peace.